Warning, this content is for entertainment and educational purposes only. This video is brought to you by First Detachment Nutrition. Battle tested, expert formulated. Use discount code AB10 at checkout for 10% off. All right, Gym Bros, it's Big Paul here. I'm going to talk about your favorite topic, Tren. Everybody loves Tren. Tren's controversial. Everybody thinks Tren is the answer to everything. I'm going to talk about Tren for the off-season today. Do you need it in the off-season? Is it beneficial in the off-season? I personally think there are better choices, and I'm going to dig into my reasons why in just 1 second. So Tren in the off season, I see a lot of people posting stuff up on social media about guys running Tren year round, which I think is utterly insane. And I don't think that's the best choice. I'm not saying the Tren isn't powerful. I'm not saying the Tren doesn't have a place in our toolbox as bodybuilders, but I personally find it best used on contest prep. And I've said in the past, and I think it's gotten some people stirred up, that I believe that Tren is not the best choice for an off-season cycle. There are times that you may want to use it, but I think you need to limit it. And we need to take a step back and think through this critically. So our goals in the off-season is to put on as much mass as we possibly can. We know that the way to do that is to be healthy, eat a lot of food, train hard, get a lot of rest, recover, and get back into the gym and do it over again over a long period of time. So in order to do that, we need to stay healthy. We need to keep our appetite high. We need to have a good night's sleep, and that will optimize us for growth. During contest prep, our goal is to lose body fat and preserve muscle tissue. So they're two completely different objectives. If we take a step back and look at Tren and think about it logically, what Tren does uniquely well versus other AASs is preserve muscle mass, and it seems to improve body composition. It seems to be have some sort of thermic uncoupling effect where it increases metabolism, but it also carries a bunch of side effects for a lot of people. Me personally, I have a love-hate relationship with Tren. It makes me look better than any other compound, but I feel like absolute trash when I take Tren. So I can't sleep. I get insomnia really bad, even on lower doses. I get the night sweats. Eventually it causes GI distress for me. I end up getting acid reflux. Sometimes I get diarrhea, and I know a lot of people that have the same issues. It also makes my blood pressure shoot through the roof when I run it for any extended duration. And believe me, I've tried it. I've tried it both ways. I've tried it in the off season. I've tried it during contest prep. On contest prep, it seems to be a necessary tool to get that look, that hard, grainy, lean look that you want on stage. So I reserve it for contest prep only. If we think about those side effects in the off season, if my stomach's upset, if I'm not sleeping, if I feel unwell, if my blood pressure is through the roof, that is not conducive to putting on size. If you can't eat, you're not going to grow. If you can't sleep, you're not going to grow. If your blood pressure is through the roof, you're going to be damaging your organs, your heart, your kidneys, your increasing your risk of a heart attack or a stroke. And we know that if you want to get huge, you have to be able to do this over a long period of time. Something like 8 to 10 years it takes to put on size. I went from something like 170, 175 pounds when I was in college to 285 pounds, and I've only run Tren in the off season twice. That's it. Twice. And I know there are some pros that run it year round, and I think it's unwise. I've been at this for off and on 30 years, and I've seen a lot of really poor blood work come back from Tren. And I've seen a lot of guys end up with kidney problems down the road. They might not think they're having side effects right now. They say they're fine. They say they feel fine. They say that it doesn't affect me like it affects other people. And then 15, 20 years down the road, they end up in kidney failure. There is a price to everything. So my logic, and you can take this with a grain of salt, is for the off season, I want to stick with safer compounds. I want to hit multiple growth pathways. I don't just want to bludgeon the androgen receptor with Tren and other anabolics. I find that to be unnecessary. During the off season, I want to run testosterone, an anabolic that has low side effects, whatever works best for you. For me, personally, I like running test, primobolan, and a little bit of nandrolone. And I see a lot of pros using that exact combo. Some people use equipoise. But the test, primobolan, nandrolone combo seems to be relatively safe, and you can push the doses a little higher. I also run growth hormone, and I run insulin. So I'm hitting multiple growth pathways. It's not just hammering the androgen receptor. We're increasing IGF-1. We're using estrogen for growth. We're also using food efficiency through the insulin. So sleep is better, health is better, blood work is better, appetite is better. I stay away from orals. I do stay away from all things I consider to be toxic during the off season. For some reason, a lot of gym bros, it's usually the 185-pound dude that can't figure out why he can't grow, that accuses everyone else of taking stuff that he's taking and not growing on, that just doesn't understand how to get big. It takes a long time to get big. You have to be able to eat a lot of food. You have to be able to stay healthy. You have to be able to stay in the gym. And if you don't do that, you're not going to get huge unless you have freakazoid genetics. Most people don't have those freakazoid genetics. Now, there are times that you may want to leverage Tren in the off season. I see guys that get a little sloppy. They get a little fat. Maybe they haven't been so tight with their diet. Maybe a little bit of Tren sprinkled in towards the end of a cycle for 4 to 6 weeks, something like that, to tighten back up might be a good choice. I don't know. I have found it to be unproductive in the off season. I'm not saying that it doesn't make you grow. Tren is very anabolic, but if you can't eat, if you can't sleep, if you feel like shit, and your blood work goes to crap, you're not going to grow. You have to be healthy. You have to have an appetite. You have to be able to stay in the gym, and you have to be able to do this for a long period of time to grow. That's why I personally think Tren is a poor choice for the off season. You may disagree with me. A lot of those guys that are doing it are young. I'm not young anymore, and you can get away with a lot more when you're young. It's like I could drink a bottle of tequila when I was 25 and get up and go to work the next day. Now that I'm older, if I drank a bottle of tequila, I'd probably be in acute liver failure and end up in the hospital. Wouldn't be a good idea. So things you can get away with when you're 25, you can't get away with when you're 45. We know that. I look at this as a tool in the toolbox. There is a time to use that tool. And for me, in the off season, Tren does not offer anything uniquely special other than maybe recomping that we can't accomplish with safer, better compounds. That's my 2 cents. Take it for what it's worth. All right, guys, let me know what you think in the comments section below. I really appreciate you watching this. Thank you for all your support. I would appreciate it if you take a look at my sponsor, First Attachment, quality supplements formulated by the man himself, Justin Harris. Discount code is AB10. Please use that at checkout. Rock on, guys. For coaching or consultations, head over to www.anabolicbodybuilding.com to book your spot today. I can help you with optimizing hormones, fat loss, muscle gain, physique, athletic performance, nutrition, and health. For more information, shoot me an email at bigp3rd@gmail.com.